Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, and welcome to another night of sharing. We have with us an amazing young lady, as I call her, and one of my favorite people, Miss Kim Mason, speaker, event organizer, and executive director of Women Cultivating Greatness. Kim Mason is the founder and executive director of Women Cultivating Greatness, a 501c3 organization, and she is the founder of Diva Day. Her dynamic presentations serve her mission to connect socially conscious women of faith with information and opportunities. Inspired by her grandmother's hard work, love, and dedication to family, she helps women to do more with their God-given talents and abilities. Through her nonprofit, Women Cultivating Greatness, she coordinates events and classes that bring women together to connect, communicate, and collaborate. These vibrant educational and networking opportunities match potential volunteers with nonprofits that need extra hands. Attendees get to know each other and share resources or make plans to start new projects together. Kim cultivates the speakers to ensure that attendees will hear new spins on a range of topics to expand their ideas of what's possible for them. Her work helps women enhance their lives and walk their divine paths. Kim has been a member of Windsor Village United Methodist Church for 30 years. She is a volunteer in Married Couples Ministry, the Christian Entrepreneur Organization, and United Methodist Women. She has been married to her high school sweetheart, Chuck, for 25 years. So without further ado, help me welcome to my platform, Miss Kim Mason. Hi, Kim.
Hello. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I am truly excited to have you on my show this evening.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be on your platform. It means a lot. I'm very excited.
Well, absolutely. It's my pleasure. And we have a lot of wonderful things that we're going to be talking about this evening. But before we dive into all the great interview questions, let's tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you got up and what you've been up to.
Okay. Well, I just love helping women. You know, anyone who knows me knows that I love my grandmother very much. She lived to be 96, and she was such an influence in my life. And I always saw her helping and giving to other people. And so that's, the whole mission behind Women Cultivating Greatness is that we want to do things that would help women. Mm-hmm. And so part of our mission is to provide economic, educational, and emotional support to all women desiring to, increase their personal development with an emphasis on women with learning challenges and who learn differently. So we just offer education, resources, and support to help them to connect, communicate, and collaborate.
All right. Yeah. And your organization sounds phenomenal, and we're going to dive more into that. But we want to kind of go backtrack a little bit here. I want to talk about your experiences and the things that also have helped you beyond the fact that, your grandmother was a huge, kind of resource and inspiration for you. There's a lot of other things about you personally that have helped you to learn how to venture into doing the business that you have, because you also have certain challenges that you deal with every day. So you want to tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself personally.
Yes. I am dyslexic, and I also have ADD. I did not find that out until I was 30 years old. And so I hid it for a very long time. And I first noticed that I learned differently in the third grade. And they did not really start doing testing on children until 1980. Well, I'm going to date myself a little bit because by 1980, I was already in the 10th grade. So I had spent a lot of years struggling in school, but kids tend to be really resistant. And so I started coming up with my own methods that would teach me how to do different things, how to memorize and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then I went to college. I was 30 when I went to a class, and there was a young lady there. And she looked over at me and was looking at my paper, and she said, "Are you dyslexic?" And I said, well, what is that? I don't really know what that is. And she said, well, it's just a different way of learning. And she said, I can tell by the way you're taking your notes and even the way you hold your pencil. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I find out? And she directed me to the campus learning disabilities. I was tested, and I finally, Kimberly, had something that told me, okay, this is not my fault, where I had spent many years telling myself I was dumb, I couldn't do anything, I couldn't learn. All of my standardized tests was always 1 grade lower or 2 grades lower. And so I couldn't wait to get back to this class to tell Amanda that I was tested and I am dyslexic and ADD. Well, she never came back to the class. And after a few sessions, I talked to the professor and I said, I'm looking for Amanda. And he tells me there's never been an Amanda enrolled in that class.
What?
And, yeah, he said, there's no one on my roster named Amanda. And the thing about it, Kimberly, I never saw this girl again, ever. And so I just think that was God's way of trying to tell me this is what the situation is and it's not your fault.
Right.
So, yeah, but it was, yeah. And the thing about it, dyslexia and ADD, it affects every area of your life, every area, even your relationships.
Wow. So when, like you said, you found out that you were dyslexia, can you explain a little bit about what dyslexia does and how things are so different and unique for you as when it comes to, like you said, just normal everyday things in life and your learning abilities? How is it different than how we learn for those who don't have these challenges?
Oh man, that's an awesome question. With dyslexia, it is the way the brain processes information. In every dyslexic person, the right side of the brain is larger, which is the creativity side. And people with dyslexia, there's actually, a lot of people, it's 20% of people have some form of learning challenge. So with me, and it presents itself different with different people. Like I have short-term memory issues where I'm not able to organize my thoughts, right? Also, like if I have difficulty organizing ideas to write a paper. So that kind of has the problem. Also, like when I read, I'll read the same line 5 times. Now, the thing that I really want to tell people is that there are solutions to help people with dyslexia, and mix up, I mix up familiar words and then also like semantics. I meant to say one word, but I'll say another word. And after you get to know me, you just kind of pick up and you say, oh, did you meant to say this instead of that? And I was like, oh,
Right.
yeah, that's what I meant to say. So
Right.
there's a lot of things. I cannot read a map to save my life. It just looks like a piece of paper with a bunch of lines on it.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Right. So essentially too, that a lot of times that everything that you do, an order is important. Everything normally has to be the same consistently. Does that make things
Yes.
easier? Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For you. Okay.
I'm a very organized person, and it's because
Yes.
I have to be.
Absolutely. And it's amazing because most people don't know that you and I have known each other for more than a year, and all the times that we have talked and, and the times I've seen you, you have definitely expressed, that you were dyslexic. And I always kept thinking to myself, there's no way, because you're the most organized human being I've ever met. But at the same time, like you said, that's the way that you live, and that's the way that you can maintain. It's just like with anything that we all do. When you do something consistently over and over, it's how you remember and how you do things the right way, the same way all the time. So
That's right.
whether you're not dyslexic or not, these are something daily great things that people should know how to do when they're preparing for anything. But I definitely have noticed that you are very keen on what you do, and even though you may repeat yourself, the things that you repeat, it's actually very helpful because it helps us remember that, this is what's important. This is why you're doing what you're doing. And this is how we know that you are cultivating greatness from within, and you're sharing that greatness with other people. So talk to the listeners about this amazing new program, this new venture that you are starting within your organization.
Oh, I'm so excited. It starts in January of 2020, and it is called the I Am Great in Spite Of program. And what we're going to do, since I understand this stuff and how it affects me and how it affects other people, because no two people are the same, right? With what this dyslexia is, because so we're going to have a series of classes. Someone may come to us and say, okay, well, I'm interested in these classes. I've noted some of the things that you said could possibly give you a thought that you could be dyslexic. We have a young lady who is going to do educational assessment on each person who desires to be in the program. And then there are going to be 8 classes. Organizational skills, memorization techniques, time management, everything that I could think of that would help me. And while the first cohort goes through the program, I'll be going through it too. I've sought after people who have certifications in teaching people with dyslexia and ADD. And we're going to start these classes. It's going to be once a month, and we're going to go through for 8 months, do an assessment, make sure that they were helped by it. We're also going to have a volunteer call the person once or twice a month to make sure that they don't have any problems using the techniques that we tell them. Like a lot of dyslexics, like myself, when we're reading a book, we may read the same line 2 or 3 times. There's actually a piece of plastic that has one open slot in it where you lay it on top of the book and you move it down. And as you do that, you're able to read. So it's just a lot of techniques, and it's help out there. There's plenty of help for children now because elementary schools are starting to test as early as 5 years old. But there's a group in the community, men and women, who were never tested and don't understand
Right.
Why do I do this? Why I can't remember how to get to a place that's 30 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, that is going to be a phenomenal program, and it's going to be so exciting. I can't wait to hear more and learn more about it. Definitely keep us abreast of what's going on with this process of this new program called I Am Great in Spite of. So for those who are listening, it's important to not be ashamed of the challenges. We all have challenges. Some are harder than others, but this is going to be a phenomenal opportunity to understand who you really are, so that you know how to work around those challenges, so you can continue, like I said, to find your greatest potential, and you can using the talents that you should be able to use. So I do want to ask you a couple other questions and talk a little bit more about the business process. You are a 501c3 organization. Talk to the listeners a little bit about how that process works and what you had to go through becoming that 501c3.
Okay. Well, and I always like telling people that I hired someone to do this process for me, and I paid way too much for it. Mm-hmm. When all you really need to do is go on to the irs.gov website. They have where you can put in your information for your 501c3. What you will need is that you need the name of what you're going to call your nonprofit. Mm-hmm. You need to have at least 4 officers in place: president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And then you have to have a mission, and you have to have a vision. And then you complete that information for whatever state that you're living in. And then they give you an answer whether you can have the nonprofit designation or not. Mm-hmm. And they want to make sure that you're helping the community.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so a nonprofit organization is for the community. It's not my organization. So that's why I always, try to say it's us, it's we, because, I wouldn't be able to do this without other people,
Right.
Normally it can take from 1 month to 4 months for approval. And I learned a lot during that time. Mm-hmm. I believe that if you have people who can support your vision and have them in place, because, I just decided I wanted to do this, and I just flew, and I just looked online and found an organization that could do everything. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I paid way too much, because on irs.gov, I think it's $250.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that was a great experience, a learning lesson, right? And at least you did look for help, because a lot of people who decide that, I want to do an organization, a lot of people don't want to take the proper steps, period. And the thing that I love what you just said was the fact that even though you are the founder of this organization, you understand that it's a community thing. It's not just about you. And those are the things that everybody is looking for when you have a 501c3, because a lot of people think, oh, well, if I do a nonprofit, I'm going to make a ton of money and blah, 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 blah. It's really a balance of everything. Like I said, people are actually overseeing you and making sure that you are doing exactly what that organization is supposed to do, because if you don't, you will no longer be an organization. So,
that's right.
Your experiences of learning this absolutely can help somebody else, because like you said, even if you pay too much, you learn the process, you understand that, oh my gosh, this is much more than what it is to just go out and actually start a business overnight. And here you are, an LLC, and you are the Lone Ranger. You are that person who runs that business, but there's a whole lot of different dynamics on both ends of the spectrum. So I just wanted to definitely dive into that, because a lot of people don't understand that 501c3s are not like running a personal business.
No, it's not. Mm-hmm. It is not. You have to, in both, the only way that they're the same is that you both have to love what you're doing. Whether
Exactly.
you're
Yes.
doing a nonprofit or a
Yes.
for-profit, it has to have your why behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you have to be passionate about it.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it won't be successful whether it's a nonprofit or whether it's a business. So you're absolutely right about that. So the other big thing that you have coming up that I am truly excited about it as well is the Divas Day 10-year anniversary celebration. Woo, let's talk about this event.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Divas
Yes.
Day is amazing. It's wonderful. Back in 2007, you know how you always say to your friends, let's get together, let's have lunch, all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
lives get in the way, kids get in the way, and you can't
Mm-hmm.
hook up with your friends. So I said, I invited 15 ladies over to my house. And I said, let's just have a great time. I had a massage therapist here,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And we had a wonderful time. And the next day, about 3 or 4 of the ladies called back and said, oh my God, I really needed that because it was no kids. You had to come by yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
they asked me when you're going to do it again. I said, okay, well, I'll do it a year from now. And that's kind of how it got started. The next year, I had like 33 people in my house.
Wow.
And, we were cooking a meal and all that stuff. So it was in my house for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved it to the subdivision clubhouse. It was there because you could have up to 70 people in there. So it was there 3 years. And we've been at the Hilton Garden Inn for the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we sell out every year. I'm very thankful. And Divas Day is a fundraiser for women cultivating greatness. And I've been a nonprofit since 2015,
Mm-hmm.
but Divas Day has just been so much longer. So it's exciting. We have a lot of fun. We have 5 guest speakers, 12 vendors. We have great sponsors this year. We have Samsung and KLSM, a CPA firm. We have Our Life TV with Monique White, and then also Iberia Bank.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been our sponsors, and it's just a great time.
It is. It's going to be great, and I'm excited. And I'm even more excited that even though, you talked to me about this several months ago about, coming out and inviting me as your guest, and I was excited about that. But then you came back and you said, I want you to be my featured author for the event. I was like, yay! So I'm extremely excited about
Yes.
about having this opportunity just to meet all these other phenomenal women and all the other speakers and getting the opportunity to learn. That was something that I was really passionate about wanting to do, is getting the extra education and empowerment, because we all, whether we're boss women or not, we need that empowerment and from other leaders to know that we're on the right path and to help us get over those humps that we may be stuck at. So I really appreciate that
Yes.
opportunity.
Yes, and I just love getting all the feedback. And every year we do a survey, and I listen, I pay attention to the survey.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they said they wanted to learn more about relationships and self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And so I made sure Dr. Ivan D. Young is a relationship expert, so he'll be there. And
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Davis is a philanthropist, and he's also in the Guinness Book of World Records. And just a really powerful young man. And then Stephanie McKenzie. She is the owner of the healing firm, And she does just so much in self-care and self-empowerment. We have Councilwoman Amanda Edwards, and she is so active in the community and wanting to make sure that she serves people. I really like her. I've heard her speak at least two times now. Mm-hmm. And, and then we have entertainment, Trevay Hunter. I mean, it's going to be a day full of stuff. And Samsung is going to bring computers and things that we can have fun with during the intermission. I have so much door prizes and stuff coming to my house. I wish I owned just a little piece of Amazon.
Right.
because it's just like, it's been Christmas around here. I got boxes stacked everywhere because I'm really going out for 10 years of holding Divas Day. Well, 2 years we didn't do it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I had to wait till 2019.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right. Well, you know what? You deserve it. So it's going to be an amazing day. So Kim, tell everybody what day it's on, and are there any tickets still available for the event?
Yes, there are tickets still available for the event. We have 3 VIP tickets left, but general registration, we have some tickets left as well. Okay. So Divas Day is Saturday, October 5th from 8:30 to 1:30 at the Hilton Garden Inn in Pearland. We start on time and we end on time. And we're just really looking forward. 5 speakers, 12 vendors, door prizes, raffles. We have our featured author, Kimberly McLemore. And so, I'm ready. I'm just ready.
Well, we are excited. I'm excited for you, and I'm absolutely, like I said, just excited about having the opportunity just to be in the same room with all of these amazing men and women that will be at the event. And then, like I said, getting the opportunity to learn and getting the time to spend with you for the whole weekend. So I'm excited. I'm truly excited.
That's good. Yeah. And you know what I forgot, Kim? Mm-hmm. I forgot to give my website to purchase tickets.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
Yeah, to purchase tickets, you can go to www.divasday.org. Okay. And you could purchase tickets there.
Absolutely. So like she said, like Ms. Kim Mason said, if you are interested in attending this amazing event, Divas Day, please reach out and get your tickets at www.divasday.org. So there are 3 VIP tickets available, and we still have some general tickets available. So please do not miss this opportunity to come to this event. Like I said, it's normally a sold out event. We're getting very close. I mean, even though we've only got a few weeks left of September, right around the corner, October is there. So make sure that you come out and support this event. Kim, is there any other events that you would like to share before we close out this evening?
No. Just Divas Day.
All right.
We're working on some other things, but I'm not ready to say yet.
And that's fine.
We're always busy, and I want to thank my volunteers, because I have 9 amazing women that work with me, and I could not do anything without them. It takes a lot of people to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing that's beautiful is that they are very dedicated to you and the event. So, congratulations on that, because it's very hard to find people who are very dedicated. So, and that inspires other people. So you're very welcome. And the other question I would like to ask before we end, would you please let everybody know how they can reach you if they have any questions? So if you have an email address to share, we would like to hear that as well.
Okay. Please email me at KM, those are my initials, Kim Mason, at womencultivatinggreatness.com. It's a long email address, but I will respond immediately. I also have a phone number, 832-407-0725, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Awesome. All right, Kim. Well, I would like to say thank you again so much for coming on my show. Do you have any last words for our listeners?
Just thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. You know, it's just wonderful, and I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in October.
All right. Well, you are very welcome. And thank you, like I said, again, for coming on the show. For everyone else, we are here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. You are now able to listen to this show on iHeartRadio and Spotify and many other platforms such as Tumblr, YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google Podcasts. So we're also on our Facebook page on WSBI. And again, like I said, we're here every Thursday evening. If you would like to be a guest on this show, I'm already taking scheduling for 2020. So what you need to do is send me an email at Kimberly@WSBILLC.com. And you can send me your bio, short bio, please, and send me a picture and a logo if you have a business logo, if you'd like to be on the show in 2020. But until next time, you all have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.